Peace be upon you all. Over the past few days, everyone's been talking about just one thing: the discovery of a city beneath the pyramids of Giza. Social media is flooded with radar images, photos, and breaking news about it. So here's the story in a nutshell. A few days ago, there was a conference held in Italy where a group of researchers announced that they discovered a whole city underneath the pyramid of Khafra. According to them, they found giant columns directly below the pyramid, along with secret chambers buried kilometers underground. Now, to be honest, we hear things like this from time to time: theories about hidden tunnels under the Giza Plateau, secret rooms under the Sphinx, and so on. So this isn't the first time we've heard something like this. Double asterisk. We've heard theories like this before, but this time it feels different. Things are heating up. The whole world is talking about it. So what's the real story behind this discovery? Why is it causing all this buzz? And more importantly, is it even real? But hey, before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our updates. Now, let's get into it. On March 15th, 2025, 3 researchers held a press conference in Italy. The team included the Italian Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa, Armando May from the University of Naples, and the Scottish researcher Filippo Biondi from the University of Strasbourg. So here's what they said. They've actually been working on a project focused on the Pyramid of Khafra for quite some time now. And the cool part? They used some super advanced scanning tech to study the pyramid and the surrounding area. The technology they used is called synthetic aperture radar, or SAR for short. Now here's the crazy part. This tech allows scientists to scan and study any object anywhere on Earth using satellites, without even being physically close to it. Yup, no digging, no drones, just satellite magic from space. This type of radar is normally used in geographic mapping, terrain analysis, and aerial photography. But this was the first time ever it's been used in archaeological exploration. And guess what? What they found next was absolutely mind-blowing. Using this method, they were able to study the Pyramid of Khafra remotely, all while sitting comfortably in Italy. No need to travel to Egypt, no permits, no excavations, nothing at all. All they needed was access to a satellite system that supports this advanced radar tech. And guess what? They managed to get access to a system called Cosmo SkyMed, which is basically a constellation of 4 satellites operated by the Italian Space Agency, ASI. With these satellites, they directed radar waves toward the Pyramid of Khafra and began analyzing the incoming data. And that's when things took a wild turn. The research team announced they had discovered 8 massive cylindrical pillars located directly beneath the pyramid. Each of these pillars is, wait for it, over several meters tall, and they're positioned in a very specific formation underground, like something straight out of a movie. Double asterisk. Each of these pillars is over 600 meters tall. That's roughly the height of a 200-story skyscraper. To put that into perspective, the Pyramid of Khafra itself is only around 140 meters tall, meaning these newly discovered pillars are 4 times taller than the actual pyramid. But wait, there's more. The researchers said the 8 pillars are split evenly into 2 groups, with 4 pillars in each group. And beneath all of these pillars, there's a massive hollow chamber, approximately 80 cubic meters in size. And here's where it gets even crazier. Each pillar is surrounded by a spiral structure that looks exactly like a spiral staircase. Yup, each one seems to have a built-in staircase leading all the way down to that secret underground chamber. But that's not all. The pillars and the chamber are all connected to a gigantic underground structure that stretches over 2 kilometers deep into the earth. And as if this isn't wild enough, they also claim there's a network of enormous underground tunnels that connect all 3 pyramids together. Double asterisk. And it doesn't stop there. The underground structures are also linked through a system of canals and waterways. Naturally, just like your reaction right now, people at the conference were left in total shock and amazement. The audience was speechless. I mean, we're talking about a discovery that could potentially rewrite everything we thought we knew about ancient Egyptian history. This could open the door to a whole wave of wild, but maybe not so crazy, theories. Like the idea that the pyramids were never tombs, but rather part of a massive energy generation system. Or the theory that beneath the pyramids lie hidden chambers filled with ancient treasures and lost records of the Egyptian civilization. Or even crazier, that there was a super-advanced civilization that existed before the pharaohs, and they're the real builders of these colossal underground structures. And as some theories suggest, maybe the ancient Egyptians came later and just built on top of what was already there. So, yeah, you can say whatever you want at this point. The possibilities are endless. But before we get too hyped or dive headfirst into theories that never end, we need to hit the brakes and ask a very important question. Are the claims made by these researchers actually credible? Because that's what everything else depends on. And to be completely honest with you, the answer is not really. Here's why. First of all, the results they shared during the conference. There's no published paper backing them up. Not yet, at least. No peer-reviewed study, no scientific journal, nothing. That means no experts in the field have actually reviewed or verified their claims so far. In other words, we're flying blind here. And here's the thing. Even if you wanted to dive into their research or understand exactly what they found, you can't. Why? Because they haven't released any detailed study to the public. Now here's where it gets really weird. If you trace the original source where the images from the study were first shared, surprise! It wasn't an academic journal, not even a university page. It was literally a personal Facebook profile. One of their friends uploaded the findings there. Yup, you heard that right, a random Facebook post. That's where it all started, and you can even go see the profile yourself. It's all public. This alone shows a serious lack of professionalism or scientific transparency. On top of that, the universities the researchers are affiliated with, like the University of Pisa and University of Strathclyde, haven't published anything about this study on their official websites. No press release, no academic coverage, nothing. Just total silence. What's even more telling is that the universities these researchers are affiliated with have completely ignored the study. While they actively cover much less significant topics on their official platforms, there's zero mention of this, which is supposedly a massive discovery. You'd expect these institutions to be the first to promote such groundbreaking findings, but nope, silence. And that speaks volumes. Now let's talk about how the study was done. Even though the team hasn't released the full technical details, the general method they described is already raising red flags for a lot of scientists. Their study is based heavily on synthetic aperture radar, SAR, the same tech we mentioned earlier. They claim this technology allowed them to detect massive underground structures deep beneath the Pyramid of Khafra. Sounds cool, right? Well, not so fast. The fundamental issue is that this technology can't penetrate Earth's layers beyond a few dozen meters at most, yet they're claiming to have detected objects at depths of 600 meters and even 2 kilometers. Something completely illogical given this technology's limitations. That's why numerous researchers objected when they heard these claims. Professor Lawrence Conyers from the University of Denver, an expert in ground-penetrating radar GPR technology, told the British Daily Mail newspaper that these claims are highly questionable. He stated that radar pulses simply cannot penetrate Earth's layers to such depths, describing the claims as containing gross exaggerations. What's even stranger is that, the principal investigators of this study, Italian researcher Corrado Malanga and Scotsman Filippo Biondi, had previously conducted a 2022 study concerning the Great Pyramid, Khufu's Pyramid, which was published in the journal Remote Sensing. Ironically, they explicitly stated in their study's abstract that SAR waves have limited effectiveness in penetrating solid objects. This raises serious questions. How could the same researchers who published in a reputable journal 3 years ago, clearly explaining these waves' inability to penetrate solid objects, now claim to have uncovered the secrets of the pyramids using the very same technology? The entire situation becomes even more questionable when examining Corrado Malanga's involvement, particularly Corrado Malanga himself, the lead researcher of the study, whose credibility is highly contentious.
Despite being a chemistry professor, we're not completely dismissing the study, but claims of this magnitude absolutely require rock-solid evidence. In the realm of hypotheses, anything goes, whether it's that the pyramids were power plants built by non-Egyptians or whatever else. That's fine. The crucial point is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Ultimately, time will reveal the truth. Today's breaking news might be tomorrow's forgotten story. When we know for certain whether this deserves a dedicated episode, we'll make one. That's it for now. Quick roll call. Who made it this far? You guys are awesome. Drop us a like before you go so we know how many watched till the end. And don't forget, if you have episode suggestions, leave them in the comments. Peace out. Why then did it gain such widespread attention? The answer boils down to 3 key factors. First, the research team's strategic announcement. They opted for a high-profile press conference, inviting journalists and media figures from around the world, most of whom lack technical expertise. This ensured their claims would be reported uncritically, exactly as intended. Had they instead engaged specialists, the discussion would have involved rigorous debate, leading to a completely different outcome. Second, despite the well-documented controversies surrounding Corrado Malanga and Filippo Biondi, as we've previously outlined, their prior publications in a study published in the prestigious journal Remote Sensing, where they claimed to have discovered hidden chambers and passages inside the pyramid, yielded results that aligned with those of the research team from the Scan Pyramids project. This team consisted of researchers from Cairo University in collaboration with scientists from Japan, Germany, Canada, France, and the United States. We previously discussed this discovery in an episode titled Secret Passage Discovered in Khufu's Pyramid. The key takeaway here is that both teams, Malanga, Biondi, and the Scan Pyramids project, have conducted credible, peer-reviewed research, not mere speculation. Their work follows a rigorous scientific methodology, which is precisely why their findings currently hold weight in academic circles. The final point, however, is what significantly contributed to the spread of this story is that many people don't believe the pyramids were merely tombs. Numerous individuals want to embrace the idea that the pyramids served other purposes beyond being burial sites. This is why the topic resonated so strongly with them. Most of those who shared this news were non-specialists in any way. Here's another important point. It's entirely possible for there to be chambers or voids beneath the pyramids. Archaeologists don't actually deny this possibility. The real issue lies in exaggerating the significance of the discovery, coupled with the failure to publish the study in a reputable scientific journal. Adding to these concerns is the fact that even universities themselves seem disinterested in the matter. Ultimately, we're not completely dismissing the study, but claims of this magnitude absolutely require rock-solid evidence. In the realm of hypotheses, anything goes, whether it's that the pyramids were power plants built by non-Egyptians or whatever else. That's fine. The crucial point is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Ultimately, time will reveal the truth. Today's breaking news might be tomorrow's forgotten story. When we know for certain whether this deserves a dedicated episode, we'll make one. That's it for now. Quick roll call. Who made it this far? You guys are awesome. Drop us a like before you go so we know how many watched till the end. And don't forget, If you have episode suggestions, leave them in the comments. Peace out.